Hello, my fellow nerds out there. It's Oracle and Richie, and to welcome back to to our Wonderland. Sorry, I was having a bit of a brain fart there. Anyways, last part we went on a dinner date with Gidget, and Iggy failed to tell her what he was trying to tell her. So we're gonna be continuing the story from here. My brain's all jumbled today. I fork off a piece of egg white and stir it slowly in the slop. They toss a glance at Genzo, sitting kitty corner from me at the table, and currently stuffing about 5 slices of bacon into his mouth at the same time. You eating that or creating an abstract masterpiece? He says through flecks of crispy char. I grunt, something incoherent, then lift the piece of egg into the air and scrutinize it like a laboratory specimen. Not super hungry, I guess. Yeah, 'cause someone got to hog out on highfalutin comestibles. I've never heard of those. All evening. Other less fortunate souls at this table had to make do with His Royal Majesty's table scraps. You said Mrs. Graham made you hamburger pie. Enzo raises a finger, lowers it. That's beside the point. I'm talking about an unfair disparity here, Iggs. Unfair disparity. He pokes his fingers into his palm with each syllable. We're seated at one of the tables on the ground floor at the inn. It's mostly empty, just a few other patrons partaking in the morning reflections? Is that what it said? No, refections. I've never heard of that. Sorry, I'm assuming that's just routine. Though Mrs. Graham is making sure everyone stays topped on coffee and juice. I finally bring a dripping morsel of egg to my mouth, grinding the pulpy whiteness between my back molars. It's at this moment that the front door of the inn slams open. Jesus Christ, that was loud. Good morning! I give such a jump that my kneecap whacks against the table, and I lose my grip on my fork. It falls to the floor with a clatter. Oh, that's a different look! Gidget waltzes over towards us, Cecil behind her as usual, as I scrounge around for it. You're in a good mood, Genzo muses as he wipes off his mouth. I'm in a fantastic mood. Gidget takes a seat opposite us with a flourish, resting her chin across her intertwined fingers. She's got a different dress on, and a green one this time. Green one? I don't see any green on that. That looks more aquamarine than anything else. That's more like a blue aquamarine color. With a matching hat obscuring the blonde crown of her head. And why wouldn't I be? This is the time for celebration, no? Celebration? I asked, my fingers finally wrapped around the handle of my fork. I sit back up and look back and forth between Gidget and Cecil, who's standing morosely behind her, his hands behind his back. What for? Gidget's cheeks flush and turns her gaze downward. Well, you know, for this and that. But then seems to snap back. But mostly to celebrate your arrival, of course. Isn't that reason enough to celebrate? She waves a flippant hand back at Cecil. Show him, Cecil. Play the horn of celebration. I'm sorry. I can't take that seriously. Oh, God. Cecil pulls what looks like a rubber car horn out of his pocket and gives it a squeeze with a look of barely constrained self-loathing. I need somebody to draw that, please. It sounds like a dying goose. Hyonk, hyonk, am goose. Hyonk, am dying goose. A chunk of bacon drops from Genzo's mouth. Great! Now that it's been decided, let's get going. Gidget launches herself back up from the table. Hold your fucking horses there, Missy, Genzo says between his coughs. Where exactly are we going? He's right, this is all a little, sudden? I try to cut in. But the gurgle of unease is back and playing jump rope with my intestines. Ugh. The Gidget in front of me seems quite a bit more empathetic? Emphatic? Than the one from the night prior. We only just got here. But Gidget ignores me, donning her sunglasses as she starts for the door. Why the only place befitting of such a grand occasion? Oh? The castle across the lake. Wait, Gidget's going with us this time? Oh, this is gonna be a very different story. 5 minutes later sees us on the pier, crowded around the ramp leading up to fabulously ornate seacraft. Holy pee-hole of Poseidon. We're going in this? Gidget lifts the brim of her hat to gaze up at the good ship. How else do you propose we cross the water? This is my personal yacht after all. And then when I chuckle. Or would you prefer a tiny sailboat or two? There's something about the way she says that gives me pause, but I ignore it, instead squinting as I let my eyes pan the horizon in search of spires. Eggs, Genzo hisses next to me. And when I don't turn to look right away, he gives my shirt a tug, jerking me down to his level. Is any of this, I don't know, ringing any alarm bells for you? Not alarm bells, perhaps, but he does have a point. Though the yacht itself is certainly new, the idea of crossing this lake isn't. Nor is the thought of what lies beyond it. And I find myself strangely torn between a feeling of homecoming and a feeling of panic-inducing dread. I feel like we don't really have much choice. Maybe you don't, cause you gotten yourself all goo-goo-eyed for Miss American Pie over here. But I've still got at least some of my wits about me. And they're currently screaming at me that if I want to live, I need to face my ass pronto. Okay, now you're just being dramatic. Dramatic? Dramatic? You don't sense the boner for murder rising to full salute on the other side of that lake? I finally pull myself out of his grip, smoothing down from my shirt. Gidget already told me, it's just Orlum. Guess he holds a lot of parties or something. Okay, so a freckled boner then. Orlum would never do anything. It is somehow a bit worrying. Oh, also, after I ended yesterday's recording, I found out that there actually are more pages of saves. Whoops. So, yeah, here, no, actually, save over this, I guess. Because it's a choice that we can probably go back to. I'm figuring it probably doesn't matter what I say here. Come on, Orlum would never do anything. It's a bit worrying. I mean, 2 out of 4 times, half of the time, Orlum just tries to kill us. But one time he didn't kill me, but he killed Genzo, and honestly, I guess it is kind of a worrying thing now that I think about it. 3 times was definitely not the charm for Orlum, but 4th time probably would be. Let's just go with Orlum would never do anything. I just want to see what happens. Oh, come on, Orlum would never do anything. He may be a bit weird, but he's not, you know. My voice trails off as I realize I'm not even sure where I'm going with this. Only that I have a sudden need to defend him. Though why, I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, well, apparently you have more faith in him than I do. Cause every nerve ending on my whole fucking body is lighting up like a firecracker just thinking about his bony ass. Ginzo's face is as white as a sheet, which is enough to make my own stomach gurgle unceremoniously. But I don't let myself dwell on it. Doing so would only make all this even harder to do. It'll be fine, come on, I finally say, falling in line behind Cecil, who's hauling 2 giant suitcases up a ramp and onto the boat. I don't blame Genzo for being anxious. I'm already anxious enough for the 2 of us. But I don't want to make Gidget mad, considering how keen she seems on this. Besides, she seems to know what she's doing. And she knows a whole lot more about this place and what's happened to this place than either of us. If anything were to happen, she'd keep us safe. Safe? That's a weird word to use. Smooth things over? Yeah, that's better. She'd smooth things over, no matter what happened. Iggy, come up! Come up here to the front! Almost as if on cue, I hear Gidget call from the far side of the boat. Oh, sure, give me a sec. I make it to the top of the ramp and step onto the deck, taking a moment to get used to the way it bobs ever so slightly beneath my feet. Before continuing, I throw a quick glance at Genzo, who's still just standing at the bottom of the ramp, brows crinkled in concern. He seems to be suffering some deep-rooted internal conflict. Finally, however, he grumbles something beneath his breath and scuttles up the ramp after me. I'm only doing this for you, he mutters with a pout. Come on, it'll be fine. I hope. But that last part doesn't quite make it past my tongue. It doesn't take long for us to leave the port. The last few checks to ensure we're seaworthy, then the little yacht is slicing through the cerulean landscape like a knife through butter, leaving nothing but a trail of white surf behind. Soon there's nothing but blue as far as the eye can see. How long do we make it across? I ask Cecil in what feels like a perfectly reasonable question. He, however, just glares at me and stomps down the stairs into the yacht's interior. I stare at his retreating form of confusion. Was it something I said? Rather than let myself worry too much on this matter, I elect instead to explore the yacht. First, the upper deck. Walking from bow to stern and back again, my hand tracing the railing, then down inside. It's larger than I expected, complete with a small dining area, the kitchen, a room to lie down in, and a walk-in closet. And fancy too, from rich mahogany window frames to marble tables and countertops. On my way back up, I catch what sounds like Cecil talking to Gidget. I really must insist you wear something else. What are you talking about? This is perfect. Iggy will love it. And you do everything he wants, is that it? Cecil, we're not having this conversation. I only want what's best for you. This isn't you. Oh, you know exactly who I am and what I want now. Is that it? That's not what I was implying. I make it to the top of the steps. And both of them turn around. Gidget is wearing... Oh! Fuck, Gidget is wearing the tiniest swimsuit I've ever seen. Almost on cue, I feel beads of sweat being dotted on my neck and hairline. And a cold snake feels like it's winding itself up inside my belly. Iggy! Gidget gives a delayed squeal and launches herself towards me. Her arms go around my neck in a hug that squeeze her body against mine. My feeling of cold discomfort increases by about 300%. In Smash Brothers terms, he's taking about 300% damage. Fortunately, she doesn't stay long. She pulls away instead, spinning around to show off every angle of her immodest swim accoutrements. My God, what is with all these words that I've never heard of at all in my life? What do you think? It's quite a small. Let's just say you look great. It's horrible. It's not good to be rude to a woman. And uncomfortable as I'm feeling, I know I need to say something. Not just anything. The right thing. Cheeks on fire, I bring a hand to my mouth and mask my look of distress. Great! You look great! Gidget smiles even wider at this, her face beaming. I knew you would think so! Even as I was packing, all I was thinking about was how much you loved this. And all the other outfits I packed too. Only you're the one who appreciates how hard I try. Cecil over here has no idea what he's talking about. I throw a glance at the man in question, who returns with a look with a glare of so full of vitriol, my dick feels like it retracts up between my legs. Gidget ignores this. She grabs my hand and starts pulling me towards the front boat. Come on! I was gonna do some sunbathing. She leads me to the bow of the ship, where a few loungers have already been laid out. Then plops down in the nearest one, pulling me down beside her on a flowery cushion. It'll be a few hours until we get there. Might as well use it to our advantage, right? The sun out here is glorious. It's certainly bright. I still have my face turned away. My whole body feels like it's burning, and not just from the gleaming rays of sun. Oh gosh, we need to make sure you don't get burned, though. Gidget laughs and bends towards Cecil, hands outstretched. Cecil! Cecil responds bitterly but obediently, fetching what looks like a bottle of sunscreen from the nearby cabinetry and offering it to Gidget. Here, Gidget smiles shyly, squeezing some out into her hand and rubbing it between her palms. You burn so easily, it's dangerous. She brings her hand to my face, rubbing the lotion across my cheeks, nose, forehead, and chin, then moving down my neck and collar. I sit there somewhat numb amidst her ministrations, not saying a word, not really able to say a word. The touch itself isn't bad. In fact, it feels quite nice. Her hands are warm and soft, and the up and down motions lightly kneading my skin are surprisingly calming. When she moves to my arms, I actually notice myself start to enjoy it. My eyes flutter closed, relaxing, reassuring. Maybe I do like touch. Some touch? This kind of soothing touch. Safe touch. Jeez, I'm gonna say touch so much my throat's gonna be dry. In fact, it feels so good that when she finally pulls her hands away, I find myself wanting to whine in displeasure. Wanting to return to that wonderfully tranquilizing cocoon. Until, now you do me. My eyes pop back open. And the tendrils of panic begin to resprout in my bowels. What? My voice cracks. I don't want to get burned either, especially not before tonight. She throws me a wink, then turns around, her back to me, her hands lifting her hair to reveal her bare back and shoulders. It's just applying sunscreen, Iggy. You'll be fine, okay? I swallow. Glance at Cecil, who continues to simply stare at me in resentment. Then back. I pick up the bottle of sunscreen, my fingers are shaking. Come on. I squirt some out into my palm, slide my fingers through it. My throat feels tight, so fucking tight, to the point I can't swallow. I bring my hands to her shoulders, then begin spraying it around. It's awkward and stilted and bumbling. My fingers jerking the lotion in haphazard streaks across her shoulders, down the length of her back and arms. It's a strange feeling. My fingers running across her skin, feeling her skin, and I'm hyper aware of every single spot, splotch, and blemish decorating the expansive, glistening softness. Is this okay? I managed to ask despite the vice around my voice box. It feels good. A pause, then. Do my front too? My voice hitches. Fuck. I clench my eyes shut, open them again. Fuck. Okay. I squirt more into my palms. This is what she wants. This is what I need to do. I need to be able to do. Iggy, my boy, my asexual boy, okay? Calm down. Breathe, my friend. In and out. You'll be fine. or else she'll... I cough. Take a deep breath, then reach for her shoulders, and this time letting my hand slide forward. Dipping downwards, across her collarbone, fingers slick and sliding across her skin. Oh god, his eyes are getting so blurry. Lower, even softer now. Fingers sinking into it. Sinking into her. The chills are sweeping up and down my body now. Even under this beating sun, I feel so cold my teeth could start chattering any second. Gidget murmurs beneath my touch. The sound of it jolts me with such force my fingers dip all the way down to her suit top. I jerk backwards, my fingertips are on fire. Shit. My chest feels like it's caving in on itself. Gidget turns around, her face picture of worry. Everything okay? I start before quickly finding my tongue that's turned into a sock. Tell her. You have to say it. But I don't. I can't. I bring my hand to my forehead, fingers pushing back my clammy bangs. I think maybe the sun is getting to me. Oh no. Gidget's hands go to my cheeks, thumbs forging divots in the skin. It should be cooler downstairs. Maybe go lie down for a bit. You can rest until we get there. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I stand up with a wobble. Sorry, hope that was good enough. I dip my head in towards my clavicle, shame searing my cheeks. Anyway, but I don't know how to finish. So instead, I simply turn away, gaze pointed downwards as I make a beeline towards the stairs. I don't even notice Genzo until I ram into his shoulder. Sorry. Whoa, hey, everything alright? Everything okay? I don't respond, instead just shaking my head before disappearing downstairs. Genzo worried gazed on my back the whole way down. The interior is wonderfully cool and dim compared to the sun on the deck. I head straight for the back towards one of the small rooms in the rear that's been furnished with a miniature living area, complete with a daybed. Once inside, I close the door behind me and collapse face first on the bed. Fuck. Every nerve in my body still feels electrified. But my chest is finally starting to unclench itself. I give myself a moment before kicking off my shoes and rolling onto my side, arms around my knees. Breathe. Just breathe. I close my eyes, relishing in the quiet, in the darkness of the room. There's a hesitant knock on the door. Iggs, you okay? I can barely hear Genzo's voice. Yeah, I'm fine. Just need to be alone for a bit. Okay. There's a soft bump, the door giving a little shudder, almost as if he's pressed his forehead against the surface. I'll be here if you need anything. Thanks. It goes quiet. The silence like a heavy blanket draped across my curled form. I let out a deep breath of air that feels as though it had been stopped up inside my lungs for days. That's right. Everything's fine. You're fine. I let myself uncurl slightly, pressing my face into the pillow. It pokes the frames of my glasses against the bridge of my nose, so I slide them off with a sigh. My gaze goes to my hands. I can still feel the heat. The softness pressed up against my fingers. I find myself curling my fingers as though holding a ball. My mouth twitches. I'd never seen Gidget in that little clothing before. Never touched her like that before. In fact, until this moment, I always thought that Gidget didn't really... Dude, okay, I don't mean to be a party pooper, but you were just putting sunscreen on her. But at the same time, I can completely understand. He probably has, I can understand if he has, an aversion towards, touching it all. He's okay with, hugging and stuff. Hugging and possibly a little bit of a kiss, but anything else, I'm okay with that. I can completely understand you, Iggy. You and me, we're somewhat the same thing. We're kind of the same. I know how you feel, my boy. Want to emphasize those parts of herself. Not that there's anything wrong with wanting to do so, of course, but it's just never seemed... I only want what's best for you. This isn't you. I furrow my brows. I hate them, Iggy. I hate them. I press my lips together. It had been raining that day. That's right. A rainy Saturday afternoon. Just hanging out at Gidget's house. watching recorded episodes of Toonami. Toonami? Oh my god, that just touched right into my childhood, dude. Oh, guys, I actually used to watch Toonami a lot back in the day. Like, when I was a kid. Oh, I was, like, Toonami always comes on, like, during Adult Swim, I think. Like, you can always, like, you always see things like, One Piece, Bobobo, just Bobobo, Samurai Jack. My god, there was a lot of cool animes in Toonami, dude. Even Naruto and Dragon Ball were there, which is awesome. I loved it. Dueling on our GBAs, Game Boy Advances, playing half a game of Star Wars Monopoly before getting bored instead of sending the little figures on a secret mission to the basement. As the afternoon goes on, we start dropping off. First Bugs, curled up in Gidget's dad's armchair, then Orlum, his face buried into couch cushions, and finally even Genzo, at first making a joke about using Orlum's butt as a pillow, then actually dozing off there, drool leaking down the side of his face. Ha! Really makes... Genzo's a real butthead, isn't he? I'm sorry, I really had to make that joke, okay? I'm sorry. Anyways, I'm hungry. You want something to eat, Iggy? Gidget's lying in the middle of the room, just staring up at the ceiling amongst the Monopoly pieces. But she sits up at this, tossing a glance in my direction. Oh, sure. Then we're wandering off towards the kitchen. Gidget's dad is seated at the kitchen table, reading a newspaper. And Gidget's mom is cutting out coupons. Gidget opens the pantry using a step stool to riffle through the selection of snacks, one of the higher shelves. When she reaches up, the hem of her shirt lifts and reveals her belly, as well as a band of her underwear. Her mom glances up, her eyes narrow. What the hell are you wearing? This throws Gidget off guard, and she immediately falls back to her heels. Huh? But her mom is already to her feet. Oh, so she looked the same regardless. In 2 steps, she's to her. She yanks her shirt back up for another look. Are these boys' underwear? No. Gidget looks away. Don't lie to me, young lady. Maybe? Gidget's mom lets out an exasperated groan. I thought you were past this phase. When are you gonna grow up? It's not a phase. I like them, Mom. Gidget shouts back, tears springing to her eyes. But now her mom is focused on something else. A little hanging strip of clothing poking out from beneath the hem of her shirt. What the hell is this? She lifts Gidget's shirt all the way up, revealing what looks like an ace bandage wrapped around her chest. Oh, ace? Ace, or ACE. Gidget jerks back and out of reach with a tearful yelp, tugging her shirt back down. Stop it! You take that off right now. What the fuck is wrong with you? Dave, tell her to take it off. She can wear what she wants to, Patty. My man! My man actually stands up for his daughter. I'm okay with that. I am okay with that. Wait, is it like ace as in asexual, or is it just ace as in like ACE? Like, wait, are ACE bandages a thing? Like, let me actually look this up real quick. I need to. Oh, okay, so like ACE. Okay, yeah, ACE bandages. Let's see, a compression bandage of a long strip of stretchable cloth that you can wrap around a sprain or strain. It's also called an elastic bandage or an ACE bandage. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Why the hell would you wear something like that? I just want to. Leave me alone. You want everyone to think you're some kind of freak? I didn't raise my daughter to be a freak. This is giving me flashbacks to Butterfly Soup and Butterfly Soup 2 all over again. I hate you. Gidget goes running out of the room with a fit of sobs, her arms clutched around her chest. I stand there for a moment, completely silent, then take off after her. She runs out the door into the rain. Gidget! I try calling, but she doesn't stop. She runs down the sidewalk to the end of the block, into the little groove of trees separating her neighborhood from the one over. And I chase after her, my feet slapping against the puddles, sending cold splashes of water onto my legs. When I finally catch up to her, she's huddled beneath an old oak with her arms wrapped around her knees, mud streaking her shoes and shorts. I walk over out of breath, then drop to a seat beside her. Oh, my girl. I don't say anything. The rain is lighter in here, sheltered by the trees, but the occasional drop still hits my head, and gooey slick puddles decorate the muddy path. I hate them, Iggy. I hate them, she finally says, barely audible between her knees. I'm not sure what she's talking about at first. I bring my own knees to my chest, curling my chin on top. I wish I could just rip them off. Oh. I blink. I let my gaze fall. Pitter-patter, pitter-patter. The rain is filling up a nearby leaf, forming a tiny lake of water in its center. I don't know what to say. What do I say? How can I make her feel better? These types of situations are so confusing to me. Dealing with people is so confusing to me. I bite down my lip. I think they're nice. Gidget doesn't say anything. Instead, she pushes her face to her knees harder. I wince. That must have been the wrong thing. Now I really don't don't know what to do. So rather than screw things up any further, I simply scooch towards her, one arm around her shoulders as I huddle up beside her. I stay with her until she stops crying. Oh, poor girl, dude. Honestly, her father is a goat, but her mother is a dick. Our arrival on the other side of the lake is, well, it's something. We pull into the port of a small castle town. I can see the glimmering peaks of the castle beyond, standing tall and imposing on the horizon. And surprisingly empty? Momentarily, at least, because as soon as the yacht's ram slows down to the cobbles and Gidget parades out, us following her like some kind of entourage, a battalion of rabbits appear as if on cue. They come charging forward, primed for attack, then immediately skid to a halt. The rabbit in front goes down on one knee, his gaze pointed groundward. Ma'am. Gidget just lowers her sunglasses, peering out over the top of her lenses. What kind of reception is this? Her hands go to her hips. This seems to rattle the lead rabbit even more. Apologies, ma'am. We weren't informed that you'd be arriving today, and His Majesty hasn't made any plans for festivities this evening, so we... The rabbit winces. Oh, hasn't he? Gidget's gaze goes back towards the castle, the sun glinting off her glasses. We'll see about that. Then she tosses an arm at a gesture as to the suitcase behind her. If you would? Of course, ma'am. The rabbits hop into action. Hop into action. Get it? Okay. Two of them to the luggage and two of them to Gidget herself, hoisting her up on their shoulders. The rest of the rabbits fall in line to the front and sides, forming a grand procession as they begin their march towards the castle. I can only stand there with my jaw slack, watching them parade away. There's something you don't see every day. Genzo whistles next to me, his own eyes wide. I can't whistle. Is this normal? I asked no one in particular. The mistress is held in high regard. Cecil drawls next to me, his face unchanging. Held in high regard? More like worshipped like a false idol. What kind of cult-like shenanigans is going on here? But Cecil ignores him. Let's not dally, gentlemen. He shoves his hands into his pockets and takes off after removing spectacle. The two of us jog after, falling in step and back of the parade. We march through the streets, past houses and cafes, and a tinkling fountain. There's no one else in sight. The roads, buildings, even the windows are empty and devoid of life. I can only scratch my arm nervously as I glance around, and a chance glance at Genzo tells me he's feeling anxious too. We keep going, following the road out of town and up along the path leading towards castle gates. I see what looks like twin guards posts come to view as we go near. They sit on each side of the entrance and bridge that connects the other side of a moat, and the castle guard is beyond. Two rabbits appear to be manning the gates and rush to tug the gates open on arrival. Their looks are flustered, dread matching with the rising gurgle in my stomach. Further still, we march straight through the gardens, up the main castle door, giant and imposing, making the hair on my back of my neck stick up like a miniature antennae. Once again, two rabbits there to open the doors for us. Both of them are semi-packed as they scurry into action. Inside, I'm overcome with the feeling of, well, it's an amalgamation of feelings. Awe first at the high lopping ceilings, stained glass windows, and diving tapestries. But then the strangest sense of belonging. I shake my head and tug at my collar. How can I ever belong in a place like this? Arc 3, anybody? The thoughts twist my bowels further. Attention! There's a screech from one of the rabbits, and the whole column pulls their feet together in a crisp salute. The two in front drop to their knees so Gidget can descend to the floor. She removes her sunglasses and looks around the environs in semi-disdain. A glance to the right, to the left. She crosses her arms over her chest with a huff. You know, I'm starting to feel a little neglected here. Before I have a chance to wonder what she means, well, isn't this a pleasant surprise? A familiar figure emerges from the far hallway, little cape fluttering behind him. Oh, the crazy king himself. The goddess herself returns to my keep, and of her own accord. To what, pray tell, do I owe this honor? Oh god, that theme again. I'm sorry, Orlam's theme I can't take seriously. It sounds so damn childish. It sounds like a Muppet song. I'm not gonna lie. Hey guys, cutting off the video off for a moment. I just wanted to take the time to talk to you guys about something very important. Did you guys know that at least 45.2% of my viewers are not subscribed? I know, crazy, right? Well, I just wanted to take a moment to tell you guys that if you guys are coming back on the regular, still watching all my videos, and you're not subscribed, why not subscribe? You're coming back anyways. You want more content, right? So if you just be a darling and hit that subscribe button, become a fellow nerd today, and also be sure to join my Discord. I'm mostly active on there too. And I'll see you all later. Yeah, that's pretty much about it. Anyways, back to the video. Orlam spreads his arms in a show of over-embellished grandeur. The sight of him stops me for a moment. And like a tiny hitch in the back of my throat. Next to me, however, I hear Genzo sucking his breath. And when I turn to look, I see his jaw go taut. At the front of the battalion, Gidget just smiles. Do I ever need a reason to bless this place with my presence? Certainly not. Orlam rubs his chin. Though, had I known, I would have done more to, prepare. His gaze flicks towards the three of us. I see his eyes widen and crinkle in mirth. He brings his folded hands to his cheeks with a sardonic delight, and the surprises keep coming. Look who's finally decided to join us. What a treat! Gangster just snorts. I, however, drop my gaze, feeling all of a sudden shy. A treat indeed, Gidget smirks. My Iggy is now right where he belongs, which calls for a celebration. And what better place to celebrate, wouldn't you agree? Try to defend yourself, ignore what she said. I honestly don't really know what to do here. I think ignoring what she said is probably the safer bet here. But defending myself is probably a better idea. Oh, I don't know. I think we might go back to the decision later. Might as well ignore what she said. Let's just go with it. I twitch. There's something about what she says that doesn't sit right with me. But at the same time, I'm not feeling especially courageous. In fact, standing there in the giant hall surrounded by 7-foot rabbit guards with spears, I'm feeling decidedly uncourageous. So despite my irritation, I let the comment pass. Pick your battles, isn't that what they all say? But Gidget dear, as much as it pains me, I haven't made plans for any entertainment this evening. He begins counting on his fingers. I would need to alert the chef, send out invitations, rally the traders to ready some appropriate symbols for our new guests. But he trails off as Gidget approaches, blinking upwardly. But you wouldn't mind doing all that for me, would you? She takes her chin in her hand, thumbs pressing teasingly to her cheeks. Oh my god, really? I'm sorry, I can't take this game seriously anymore. Oh my god, look, he's like a fucking dog. Bruh, stop simping. For the second time that day, my jaw goes slack. Honestly, Iggy, I feel ya. Orlin practically melts in her grip, gaze wandering not all stealthily from the eye-level placement of her chest to her sweetly cooing lips. He lets out a throaty mule, tongue lolling out of his mouth. Next to me, Genzo is taking a makes the sign of the cross in front of his chest. I take back my wish. There's some things in life that I shouldn't be seen. Come on, just one little party. I mean, it would mean so much to me. Gidget traces her fingers down to the collar of his shirt and gives it a tug. I suppose I could make an exception this once. Orlin leans in towards her chest, only for her to step away abruptly, nearly sending him to the ground. Excellent, she says, fixing her dress and hat. Besides, I brought Cecil. I know how much you enjoyed him last time. Orlin coughs and strains at wiping off his chin. His gaze flicks to Cecil. Yes. The lascivious grin returns. He brings the tips of his fingers together. I did indeed. How could I forget a man so gifted? Do I even want to know? Genzo and I throw identical glances at Cecil, who for once isn't boasting his usual impassive visage. Oh my god, he's actually blushing! Instead, he's looking away, shoulders hunched, cheeks colored pink. Oh, my boy! Now then, I must clean up. It's been a long and tiring day on the boat, and I want to look my best tonight. Of course. Guards! Orlum snaps his fingers, summoning a duo of attendants to his side. Ready the baths for her ladyship, would you? And make sure she has everything she needs. Yes, sir! The attendant leads her off down the hall, leaving us alone with Orlum and the rest of the battalion. Orlum watches her leave, small chuckle playing on his lips as he turns back to us. Iggy. He cocks his head to the side and begins slinking over. What have you gotten yourself into? But Genzo steps in front of me before Orlum can approach. Leave him alone, fuckface, or I'll knock that fugly crown right off that rat on your head. This only seems to goad Orlum further. Look at you, still so determined, even after the cruel cogs of fate have already turned out of your favor. What the fuck are you talking about? Nothing, dear. Only that I am suddenly feeling especially nostalgic. What about you? I see Genzo grit his teeth as he takes a step forward, finger raised. But Orlum snaps his fingers before Genzo can start whatever he'd been about to. Guards? Genzo winces, falling back to a nervous twitch in his cheeks. Get these two gentlemen cleaned up, would you? And fetch the tailor. They'll need something to wear after all. I want everyone looking their best for tonight's festivities. Yes, sir! The guard nearest us snapped to attention, then quickly prod us into gear, hands on our shoulders as they guide us towards the far hall. Behind us, Orlum simply waves, impish smiling playing on his lips. See you both later. Oh, isn't this just the turn of events, isn't it? I get separated from Genzo at some point. One moment we're walking behind a set of attendants down the wide hall lined with stained glass windows, and the next, another attendant appears and leads Genzo away down a different corridor. All I can do is shoot him a look of confusion as my own attendant ushers me further along with the red carpet and towards an ornately marbled atrium. I'm taken to a small bathroom where another attendant awaits, proceeds to start tugging me out of my clothes the moment I step inside. What the fuck? But my flustered confusion is paid no heed. I'm pushed unceremoniously into an already filled tub, my feet slipping out from under me and sending my whole body straight under the water in an exodus of bubbles. I barely have the time to catch my breath before, with a subsequent yank, I'm pulled back up and taken to with a sponge. Is this really necessary? I sputter between my winces. My rabbit attendant is really going to town scrubbing. I'll be surprised if I even have skin after this. To add to my embarrassment, a whole flurry of other attendants continue to enter and exit the room, preparing who knows what. I feel my cheeks burn as I attempt to curl forward and hide myself. But a tug from behind makes even this impossible. I'm yanked backwards as another attendant with the tape measure begins taking my measurements, even as the first continues scourging my legs. At some point, I simply close my eyes, focusing on nothing but my breath and willing this unfortunate experience to end rapidly. Once the scrub down is over, I'm extracted from the water and toweled off in a series of fierce attacks to my extremities. Before finally I'm given a robe to clothe myself in and led to an oversized vanity piled high with all manner of grooming amenities. There, my curls are brushed, dried, and shellacked in a manner so thorough you'd think I was being prepared for dinner with the Pope himself. By the time the assault of my follicles is over, the attendant who measured me has returned in time carrying what looks like pressed black suit over his arm. Wait, this is for me? His Majesty functions enforce a strict dress code. Dress code? But this is all the information I have apparently been deigned to receive. I'm pushed to my feet and robbed of my robe and forcefully fitted into the confines of my new formal attire. It fits around my body like a glove, all crisp, pleats, smooth swaths of expansive feeling fabric that make me feel both overwhelmed and baronial at the same time. Now, if you would follow me, my attendant begins ushering me towards the door. Wait, already? Can't I get a moment? I'm feeling a little... I bring a hand to my still racing head. This has been one too many rapid-fire assailments on my already fragile psyche. What I would do for even 5 minutes to myself? But such considerations are not on the table, it seems. Even as I am attempting to loosen the choking grip of my tie around my neck, I'm being prodded out the door into the hall. Then down we go, back through the corridors of towering gold and down the staircase leading to the foyer. My perfectly shined shoes seem to echo especially loud in the marble stairs with each step. Genzo's already waiting at the bottom as I approach. Oh, thank God. He's got his hands shoved in his suit pockets and is staring at the ground, idly scuffing the tile with the toe of his shoe. But he looks up upon my arrival. Yo! I see him blink. Then his eyes widen. He brings a hand to his mouth and jerks his head away. What's wrong? I tug again at my collar, feeling all of a sudden self-conscious. I guess you got the same treatment as me? He wipes at his face, seems to be collecting himself. Nothing, a sheepish grin. You look, great is all. Damn, Eggs, you do clean up nice. This makes me stand up straight. I feel a weird sort of head twist and coil itself in my belt. Sort of heat, twist and coil itself in my belly. Not altogether dissimilar to the cloying tendrils of discomfiture I've been feeling around Gidget lately. I quickly turned the conversation away from myself. You don't look so bad yourself, I give him a glance over. Damn, somehow this takes me back though, huh? When was the last time we all got guysed up like this? The sight of Genzo's mouth twitches. For a moment I see his eyes darken. He looks away. Yeah. One of the attendants behind us clears his throat. Shall we be moving along? Oh, right. Then we're on the move again, this time towards a large atrium to our right. There's a grand set of doors at the far end. As we approach, I hear the sound of music grow louder and louder, all lilting violins and tinkling glasses. Two attendants manning the doors push it open upon our approach. It creaks, groans, then parts letting in the light and the glitz and a dulcet aria dancing across the air. Presenting Ignatius Walter Maxwell and Genzo Ichihara. I still can't go over the fact that his middle name is Walter. like every time I hear Walter, I just think of the puppet from Jeff Dunham. I instinctively shrink into myself. Did they really need to say my whole name like that? My cheeks feel about 100 degrees, already driblets of sweat are working down my freshly cleaned neck. The size of the ballroom doesn't help. It's absolutely enormous and bright. So fucking bright. Every single inch of it gleams with gold and silver, glittering 12-tier chandeliers hanging from the ceiling, and a moto string quartet shrinking at their instruments in the corner. And the people, there's so many of them, all dressed to the nines in gorgeous dresses and dashing tuxedos. And upon my triumphant entrance, every single pair of their eyes turned straight towards us. I really want to disappear in the inside of the collar of my suit. This is too much. Way too much. Already I can feel my chest grow tight, fuzzy dots dancing across my eyes. Come along now. One of the attendants prods me forward, but my legs feel like they're made of jelly and they refuse to move. I think I need a minute. My breath is coming out faster and faster. Fuck, I'm gonna pass out. Till Genzo's hand finds my shoulder. The feeling of it grounds me. My breath begins to slow, warbling vision fizzling into clarity. I turn towards him with a beleaguered grimace, and he just smiles, giving my shoulder a squeeze. Hey, I'm right here. I tug at my collarbone. I'm feeling unbelievably sweaty. But I shake my head, take a deep breath, and allow my attendant to lead us forward, further into the room. Once beneath the larger chandeliers adorning the ceilings, our attendants retreat with a bow, leaving the two of us alone amongst the bustling, whispering crowds. Champagne? A waiter appears seemingly out of nowhere, offering a tray of champagne flutes. Genzo practically launches himself at the tray. He downs one in about 5 seconds flat, then waits for me to take one before grabbing another. He's looking strangely anxious, but before I can ask him about it, I feel a tingle in the back of my neck. Enjoying yourselves, gentlemen? I spin around to find Orlam only a few paces behind us, and the same grin from earlier on his lips, as though it never left. He's also donned a new attire, now a sleek white suit that might as well be molded to his body. We were until you showed up looking like a cum-colored dick in a crown. Genzo smirks. Did you pay for all these people to be here? Orlam's eye twitches, but he never loses a smile. How I've missed that mouth of yours. He throws his hands out to his sides. But alas, no, people actually respect me here, as foreign of a concept as that may be to you. They certainly seem to like you. You, look great. I don't know. Here, I'm just gonna go with I'm just gonna go with straight up compliment. You look great. My gaze unconsciously flicks up and down his form. You look great, I say with a slight hitch in my throat. It's not a lie. He does. What's more, the sight of him is doing strange things to my bowels. A fleeting gurgle of nostalgia, perhaps. Nostalgia? Nostalgia for what? Arc 3? But even as my mind searches for an answer, my body seems to already know. From the way I can practically feel him up against me, the grin pressed to my neck as he teases me, knowing just how far he'll take things before backing off. But always one lingering second more. One salacious comment more. As though feeding on the pink it brings to my cheeks. It brings to my cheeks. I shake my head. But it's already too late to hide my growing discomfort. And the impish grin curling across his lips tells me I'm not alone in it. He can feel it too. That shared intangible sense of something incredibly intimate. Looking at something nice, Orlum drawls, and I quickly jerk my head away, realizing that I was staring. I feel my cheeks heat up in spite of myself. Well, that was fucking weird. Genzo's jaw is half hanging in perplexity. You okay there, Iggs? This fucker do something to you? Orlum laughs. Perish the thought. I've only just arrived, no? He smirks. No, I would imagine any and all feelings of hunger are entirely his own. I about disappear inside my collar at this. What I wouldn't give for a great big hole to open up beneath me. Orlum moves over. Yes, but don't you look... You two look quite nice. My tailor did a fantastic job. He reaches up to fix my collar, now amused from all my nervous tuggings. Then gives my cheeks a series of quick pats. I could gobble both of you right up. Next to us, Genzo clears his throat loudly. Orlum steps back from me with a grin. Aw, is someone feeling neglected? His gaze shoots to Genzo's now empty glass. He snaps the fingers. Waiter, get this man another drink, would you? We all know how much he loves to indulge. Genzo's empty glass is switched for a full one so quickly, Genzo actually takes a startled step backwards. Right into Orlum's arms. Orlum's smile widens as he gives Genzo's shoulder a squeeze. Perfect. I do like to ensure you have everything you need. Get off me. Genzo grimaces and tugs himself away. But he looks anxious again. That same tightness around his eyes I'd seen before when getting on the boat and we first entered the castle. Orlum just laughs, then stops, tilts his head up with a hand to his ear. Oh look, they're preparing for a dance number. He flicks his gaze towards us. I trust you two will dance? My back straightens on instinct, muscles tightening with uncomfortable shiver. Next to me, Genzo is similarly vexed. We would never. No? Orlum shrugs. A pity. I suppose you wouldn't mind then, would you? Oh! This music's slightly different. Would you? He continues biting down on his lip in anticipation as he grabs my hand and pulls me towards him. I can only shoot Genzo a look of panic, confusion as Orlum tugs my hips against his. In a grand flourish, he sweeps me, almost literally, off my feet, in time with the brisk tempo of the music. And his fingers curl between mine with a possessive tug. Oh! Gosh, I can barely keep up. It takes everything I have to simply keeping my balance and my feet attempt to move in time with the beat. I really like this song though, it's really nice. And I must look absolutely terrified because Orlum gives my hand a reassuring squeeze, his head cocking to the side in amusement. Do relax. You look like a spooked field rabbit. He can hardly contain his grin. This is all a bit much for me. Yes, it would be, wouldn't it? You've never been one to revel in the attention of others. He cocks his head to the other side. And yet, said attention always seems to find you anyway. Quite curious, actually. Why is it that so many people are clapping at the bit for a butt? As if my head weren't already a whirl enough, he sends me up for a spin and leaves me positively rattled, then jerks me back and close. What are you talking about? I try as even my insides curl and twist. Oh yes, I forgot. Oblivious to a fault this one, though perhaps that only adds to your endearing qualities. His hand wanders lower. Everyone being the one who wants to teach. Oh gosh. He finds my rear end, pulling it towards him and with a shutter tug. You a thing or two. At this, however, his gaze flicks to Genzo, positively bristling. Oh, he is such a snarky asshole. Oh my god, like, I can actually imagine, like, a person, like, voicing, like, I can actually kind of imagine people doing, like, a voiceover for this, and one person has to voice Orlum in this moment, and they're just relishing in the fact that they're an asshole. Just relishing the fact that you're playing an asshole. That's pretty funny. And when Orlum starts pushing his face up against my neck with a libidinous mule, he comes stomping over. Okay, that's enough. Enough? Whatever do you mean? You've made your point, but I'm having so much fun, Genzo dear. Genzo's face goes red, and I see him grin with keeping this together. He then grabs Orlum's shoulder with an angry yank. Oh, I see. You're jealous. Or Orlum just laughs, using the momentum to spin in towards Genzo, instead promptly grabbing his hand. Don't worry, there's enough of me for everyone. Oh, now he's dancing with Genzo. Oh gosh. Genzo blanches, stumbling over his feet as Orlum sweeps him into the music. Ah, yes, this is nice, isn't it? Just the two of us enjoying a moment. It has been so long since we've been this close. Orlum! Genzo looks 50 shades of uncomfortable. He always looks 50 shades of uncomfortable, doesn't he? And I can see a glimmer of sweat along his hairline. You know, I've been thinking about you a lot since my arrival here. How I would welcome you, what you'd think about my accomplishments. Genzo forces a somewhat beleaguered smile. Accomplishments? What, we congratulating people for having stuff fall into their laps now? As contentious as always. Just because you failed your endeavors doesn't mean you need to devalue mine. What the fuck is that supposed to mean? I haven't failed anything. Haven't you? Orlum pulls him close, grins so wide he looks absolutely ready to devour him whole. I suppose denial would be nothing new for you. Genzo snorts. At least I don't take advantage of others when they're at their weakest. No, you're just an asshole all the time, aren't you? Orlum lowers his eyes. And you know it too. Know the pain you cause people, and that he deserves better than you. Genzo's jaw goes taut. He mutters something under his breath and tries to pull away, but Orlum doesn't let his hand go. Instead, taking advantage of a small height he has on him to dip him backwards. And yet you still can't let him go, can you? That's a stupid, sad little puppy groveling for scraps. He leans forward, their foreheads practically touching. Genzo jerks his head away, still trying to extricate himself from Orlum's grasp. Orlum finally does let him go, though none too gently. In fact, the sudden release sends him straight to the floor. Orlum stands over him, amused grin playing on his lips as Genzo recovers from the fall. His eyes crinkle into tiny twin slits. But you must still have one last chance, Or are you gonna run away from that too? This time Orlum turns to me. He grabs my wrist, flinging me towards Genzo, just as he manages to push himself back to his feet. I stumble into him, half falling across his shoulders, as Genzo's eyes practically bug out of his head. Oh! Before I can move away, Orlum grabs Genzo's flailing arms and pulls him close, squishing me into them. Isn't this sweet? A tarantula for three, and fitting too, considering how we've been dancing around each other for years. Genzo has gone bright red beneath me. I feel myself sinking in against his stomach, my arms balanced on his shoulders and my breath stilted against his neck. For just a second, my mind flicks back to the bouncy castle. The two of us had been tangled up atop of buoying fabric, pressed against each other, tight against each other. Then Orlum lets Genzo's arms go, stepping back with a playful grin. Alas, though, I cannot stay, for I have other important matters to attend to. Other guests to take care of. So I'll bid you gentlemen adieu for now. He gives a little bow with that makes his cape flutter up behind him. Try not to have too much fun without me, One final grin and he spins around, eyes from the crowd on him as he saunters away. The two of us watch him for a moment. Then Genzo must notice that his arms have fallen around my waist, because he jerks backwards with a flustered start, his cheeks still pink. I probably don't look much better. I feel like gallons of sweat are leaking down the back of my neck, and my suit is now a wrinkled mess. I try to smooth it out, gaze pointed to groundward. That was, something else. You can say that again. Genzo coughs, shifts, and runs a hand through his hair. I force a laugh. I mean, Orlum has always been a bit of an odd duck, but that was beyond anything I could have expected. This place must be really going to his head. Do you want to dance? Genzo practically spits it out, cutting me off mid-sentence. When I look at my confusion, he has his gaze securely pointed at my feet, his hands curled into his fists at his side. The weird twist in my stomach is back. The same one from back before we entered the ballroom. It sends whirligigs of nervousness up through my chest. I mean, if you want to, is all. He looks up, then back down. So long as we're here and all. Sure, I guess. He coughs again, holds out his hand. And I reciprocate clumsily, our arms bumping against each other as we both try to determine where we put our feet, free hand. Finally, his hand goes my waist as I take his shoulder. Easier that way considering our height difference, I suppose. Then we start. But even then, it's nowhere near the smooth fluidity Orlum had provided in our earlier cavorting. More like two kids at their first school dance. The averted eye contact only adds to the portrait of awkwardness. This is a bit weird. Why are we doing this? Friends don't dance like this, do they? I mean, I know a few friends that dance like that sometimes. Like, whenever I went to a prom in high school or dance at high school or anything that event, right? There are actually some friends that do dance like that with each other. Mostly it's just jokingly, but some of them are actually just more friendly than others. With Orlum, it had been like just him. But like, this feels different. Especially considering the way he refuses to look at me. The way I can feel his hand trembling over so slightly on my hip. The way he has his lips pressed together. Wait a minute. I blink. Before I can process this further, he speaks up. Pretty nice, music. Yeah, it is. I have to admit, it feels pretty regal, you know? All this highfalutin grandstanding stuff. He chuckles. Not something I would ever expect to experience, you know? You can say that again. I feel like the long-lost son of some fancy baron or something. His gaze drops again. He seems to be searching for something to say. Wonder, where Gidget is. I haven't seen her here yet. I see Genzo's eyes twitch ever so slightly. She's, on your mind a lot, huh? I mean, of course, she would be. Why wouldn't she? Am I right or am I right? A cough. Probably gonna be dressed into the nines, if you know what I mean. Putting us two fuckers to shame. I don't doubt that. I laugh. Especially after everything else I've seen her, right? Then quickly choke on my words. My mind had gone straight back to the boat. Definitely not what I need to be thinking about right now. Gizmo must feel my body tense. Yeah, he starts as though trying to search for something to say. It's pretty crazy, you know? Yeah? Gidget, I mean. How so? Just, you know, like, I haven't seen her in years, right? And I almost didn't even recognize her. Crazy, right? She looks so different. I drop my gaze. I guess she has changed a lot over the years. Right? Hell, if you'd have asked me back then, I would have probably said she was. He stops, perhaps realizing what he was about to say, then frowns. Anyways, just not what I was expecting, I guess. But hey, when have I ever been able to read people, huh? I've got that social perception of a stick. You, Mr. Life of the Party? Fake it till you make it, my dude. Make a dirty joke, make a joke about Orlum. I honestly don't know. I don't think Iggy would be the kind to make a dirty joke. Knowing him, his personality, I don't think he would. You know, it's really been that long. Let's go ahead and make a joke about Orlum. That seems like the safer bet. You were faking it pretty good with Orlum, huh? I say with a smirk. I see Genzo's pupil dilate. His fingers shift between mine nervously. What do you mean by that? I blink. Earlier? I mean with the dancing and everything. Faking those twinkle toes and everything. Considering the two of us now, either that or it's just maybe, or it's just me. Maybe I bring out the worst dancing in people. Oh, of course. Right. Genzo forces a chuckle. Why? What did you think I was talking about? Nothing. Just, head still running like a racehorse, I guess. I raise a brow, but carry on anyway. Come to think of it, that's the closest I've seen you two in years. Yeah, it's gonna take me just as many years to wash the stink off myself, too. I don't know. You're kinda cute. My lips curl upwards playfully. Genzo makes a face. Gag me with a wooden spoon. I got some standards, Iggs. All the alcohol in the world couldn't make me stoop to that But he doesn't finish his sentence. That wasn't time with the music. That was an unintentional music sync. Instead, he's just staring at my shoulder as though he'd like to bore right through it. I watch him for a few moments. What? I spread a second head or something? His mouth twitches. He laughs. Nah, just... Damn, it's hot in here. Are you hot? Sweating in places I don't even know I had over here. I shake my head with a chuckle of my own. Maybe you should lay off the champagne for the rest of the night, huh? That champagne is the only thing getting me through this godforsaken shit show. Alright. I give his hand a little squeeze of reassurance. Though I can't tell if it helps calm him or just makes it worse. I see him lower his gaze, then raise it. His hand shifting against my hip. His nose twitches. Despite everything, this has been nice, getting to spend time with you for once. Yeah, we haven't really done much together in a while. Yeah. I feel his fingers shift in between mine. His hand feels sweaty. I pause. I like spending time with you. I cock my head to the side. Oh, the nervous jitters are attacking my gut en masse now. I try to quell them with a laugh. I like spending time with you too. You're my friend, Gen. I see him wince. His brows furrow. No, he stops moving. He's looking really distressed. I remember that he's also had at least 3 glasses of champagne at this point. He brings a hand to his forehead and I can see his fingers shaking. Again, what's wrong? You're acting super weird. I see him swallow. He looks at me, eyes strained. Only at that moment, the loud flourish of metal and strings cuts through the din, and the light goes suddenly dim. The crowd gasps, and I throw a confused look as the beam of light is directed towards the door, illuminating a head of cascading blonde hair. Presenting her ladyship Gidget Francine Bordel. Francine? Oh! Whoa! Oh my god, dude, Orlum is sweating. She's there. She's absolutely radiant. She raises her head, eyes sparkling, skin glowing. And her dress is jaw-droppingly beautiful. A wall of red that plummets to the floor. Orlum is at her side, guiding her her into the ballroom like a king showing off his queen. And Gidget, she glides along the like a vertical goddess that's just descended from heaven, throwing gentle smiles at the oohing crowd and with each step. For the umpteenth time today, I find myself at a loss for words. A strange tingling warmth is running wild up and down my spine and my legs and my chest. They approach us, and the spotlight following them the entire way. Dude, can I just say that I really love how different like the cutscene versions of them and the in-game versions of them look? Like the cutscene versions of them look so different and very detailed compared to the actual in-game variants. It looks so cool. Until, with a little spin, Gidget detaches herself from Orlem and she steps towards me, her hand outstretched. My turn? I step away from Genzo and take her hand. How can I resist the invitation of such a lovely lady? Oh, poor Genzo. Genzo falls back silently. Then the music starts anew, a brilliant, gorgeous piece that seems to rattle the rafters as it soars towards the sky. Jesus Christ, that got me. Oh! We about to see animations? Oh! Oh, she's smiling. Gidget pulls me in close and then begins to dance. I barely even need to do anything. It all happens so seamlessly, so easily. She flows like an angel of dance, pulling me this way and that, twisting effortlessly in my arms as she spins. I find my breath stolen from me. Not only from the flurry of movement, but from the sight of her that just in all that effulgence, a dazzling whirlwind of red and gold artistry that I can't tear my gaze from. She's so absolutely alive. I feel myself filled with the kind of vivacity that I've never experienced before, just looking at her, being with her, moving with her. For a moment, I would swear we become one. I feel her arms around me. We might as well be the only two in an entire ballroom, spiraling dizzyingly around under the spotlight. How am I following along? I don't even know at this point. Somehow my muscles don't know what to do, know how to hold her, know how to move up and down her body as she spins against me, just gazing up into my eyes. Like a true fairy tale. Like a picture book climax. The prince holding his princess. The music accelerates, cascading a tumultuous crescendo that makes my very eyes shudder. And she whips me back and around, in towards her. Close, so close, unbearably close. My body pressed against hers and her arms around my neck, and her smile, her lips, trembling mere centimeters from my own. And then it's over, the last note ringing for a final second before echoing off into nothingness. 1 moment, 2, both of us just standing there, sweating, breathing, before the crowd bursts into a pause around us. Gidget laughs, smiles. She's still holding me, gazing at me, her face beaming, eyes gleaming. I can feel the heat radiating off her body, smell the all-too-familiar bouquet of her hair, now tinged in sweat. Iggy? She says. I cock my head to the side curiously. Iggy, will you marry me? I stare at her blankly for a few seconds, the words not quite processing. Then it suddenly hits me, and a wave of something washes over me, the impact like a giant wave right to my stomach. My voice trembles. I look around, look at the crowd, everyone watching us anxiously, waiting my answer. My gaze goes to Gidget, to her smile, to her eyes. She's waiting too, waiting for me to step up to the plate, to fulfill my duties, to be the man she wants, needs. Our perfect life. I lick my lips. Close my eyes. Yes. We don't even get a choice? Ooh. Then open them. Louder, more confident. Yes, I will. Of course I will. If Gidget's face has been beaming before, it's absolutely incandescent now. With a little cry of happiness, she pulls me back in, hugging me with everything she has, her arms sticky and hot around my neck. Oh, Iggy, I'm so happy. The crowd erupts again, this time with cheers of congratulations, of laughter, and tears and sighs of happy relief. Yes, that's right. This is right. The two of us. We're right. We belong together. We always have. I hug Gidget back, burying my face into her shoulder, a rush of relief washing through me and making my muscles weak and trembly. I am too, I say against her cheek, just holding her, being held, my own cocoon of belonging. When I glance up and look into the crowd, I see Genzo and Orlum. Genzo is just staring at me, a look I've never seen before on his face. Orlum has his arms around Genzo's shoulder. He leans in, whispers something, imp-like, smile, practically brushing against Genzo's ear. But then Gidget pulls away, yanking me from my thoughts. I see a glimmer of tears in her eyes, and as she lets out a flummy chuckle. We're going to be so happy together. Yes. I pull her close against my side. Members of the crowd begin to approach. Words of congratulations and adoration on our lips. Yes, we are. Whew. Whoa, that was really intense. We spend a while making our rounds after that. Oh, okay, wow. That was a lot to take in for one part. I think I'm gonna leave this episode here. So, anyways, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please leave a like, comment what you think, share this video with your friends, and be sure to subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss a single notification. I'll see all of you in the next video. Goodbye. You say you wanna try, but you never